Ricciardo's a real nice kid, but he just didn't go quick enough. His numbers are just not good enough, and that's it. So we should stop getting the violin out.
I'm here with the founder of Rodin, David Dicker. We're here in the GB3 Championship paddock in the Rodin truck, and it's a great time for you because one of your drivers, Louis Sharp, who I know you've supported for a few years now, he's on the verge of winning the championship. You must be very proud to be here to be able to watch that.
Yeah, it's great, although obviously it's nerve-wracking too. I'd rather be asleep and hear about it tomorrow instead of having to watch it in case something goes wrong, which is always possible, but hopefully it'll be good.
When you look at some of the drivers that you've supported, you know, Liam Lawson, Louis Sharp, who we've mentioned here, I know Abby Pulling is one of your drivers you support as well. Budget is often the problem because we see drivers with a huge amount of talent who might win championships, but realistically they're winning these championships knowing that if they don't find the funding to go to the next step, that's where they end. And we've actually seen that in the GB4 championship with one of the drivers who stormed the first year, hasn't raced since, but just because of budget. When you started supporting these young drivers, what were your criteria? What were you looking for in these drivers?
Well, obviously they've got to be fast. I mean, look, the Louis stories, there's no science behind it. There wasn't any sort of, we're scouting this kid out. We were down at Real-Fern, that's a track in Christchurch, and we were doing a demo with the FZ, and he came up and introduced himself. He was running in Formula Ford. And I thought, oh, well, why don't you come up and do a test in our F3?
Right.
He came up and tested in the F3. He was good. So we just basically kept it going from there.
What other support do you offer with the team? Because obviously you have not only the finances, but the expertise here, because Rodin are always up and around fighting for the championship, as you are in GB3.
Oh, well, the team does what they do. And they do the same thing regardless of whether it's Louis or one of the other guys, because my only real contribution is fame, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Louis and I don't spend a lot of time talking or anything like that. I mean, we communicate, but my basic function is to just pay for it.
And you must get a lot out of that yourself, being able to watch these kids live their dreams.
Well, yeah, but I'm not really a sort of a back rider or a jock sniffer either. I mean, I don't follow it. I mean, half my employees follow it probably more closely than I do. I mean, look, the main reason for doing it is because it feels like the right thing to do. Obviously, I can afford it, and we're down in New Zealand, we're underdogs. And you want to try to prove that, you can get an outcome. I mean, same thing as with Liam.
Is it for you a little bit bittersweet? Because obviously you've supported Liam for a long time, and I know he was the first person to drive the F0 in the Northern Hemisphere, I was reading on the website, which is, a huge achievement. Actually, people I was speaking to earlier, remember when he did that over here in the UK. He's replaced an Australian in Formula One. So obviously, you're from Australia, he's a New Zealand driver, but you've backed him. He's replaced Daniel Ricciardo. What's your take on that? How do you feel? Is it bittersweet at all?
Not really, because look, Ricciardo's a real nice kid, but he just didn't go quick enough. And he knew himself that he wasn't going quick enough, and why he wasn't able to do that, only he knows. I mean, he started out his career looking like, potential world champion material, and then he just hasn't been able to carry on with it. And to be honest, I do find it a little bit irritating that the media is sort of all crying their eyes out because he's been pushed out. But look, it's a sport, and it's a meritocracy, and his numbers are just not good enough, and that's it. So we should stop getting the violin out. He's known it himself, and he hasn't delivered, and that's just how it's got to be. I mean, look, half the drivers, how many drivers are on the grid in F1 who would be capable of winning the world championship in a winning car? 6, 7? The rest of them, there's not enough turnover in Formula One. I mean, Dragovic can't get a run, Bashir can't get a run, and they're guys that would at least be better than the half a dozen guys down the bottom. So they really should look at that much more.
What do you expect of him? Because there is a lot of talk of, he may not even be driving for RB next year. It might be the second seat of Red Bull that he can achieve. You've backed him for a long time. You know him very well. You must agree that he could partner Max Verstappen.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a possibility. I don't know what the brains trust at Red Bull's thinking, but obviously they want to evaluate him, and what do they got, 6 races to do it, and we'll just see how he goes. But he did do well last year when they put him in, so I think he'll go well.
Obviously, you have Liam, you have Abby, you have Louis Sharp here. You've got a great progression. You've got F3 and you've got F2, the team there. F1 was something you wanted to get involved in, and I'm assuming that's still the case. I know that you've made some comments and you think you'd be pretty strong there.
Well, we obviously wouldn't have put in for it if we didn't think we could do it. Obviously, there's nothing happening on the F front at the moment, but we are trying to get into WEC.
Yeah.
So if we can get a car for that for next year, we'll do that, and then maybe we'll look to build our own car longer term, and WEC's the next step under F1. So if you can prove that you can build a car and get outcomes, then you've got a strong case.